movie Ken Park, it's close from kids. How would you compare the two movies?
Well, it's a companion piece to kids, really. I mean, when I made Kids, everybody said, "Where are the parents?" And I said, "Wait for Ken Park. They're in Ken Park." So Kids was about kids when the parents weren't around in their own secret world, and Ken Park is about families, parents and children, and it's about how all of us have to survive our families, whether they're good families or bad families or messed up families. All of us have to, at some point, get past that and survive our families.
There's no such thing as good families.
I can't hear you.
In the movies, there's no such things as good families.
Well, no, they're pretty dysfunctional families.
At least we can say.
Yeah. I had all these stories that I wanted to tell about families and about these kids, and I decided to put them all together in one film. So they're all there.
Where do you get the stories? Where does it come from?
Well, two of the stories are based on people I know very well, so they're right-on true stories about a couple of friends of mine. The other two characters are based on things I've read and things I've seen about people, things that happen. These are all, you know, based in reality, real life, and I think the trick was to make it as authentic as possible in the film, and I think it works.
The thing that was really amazing in Kids was the connection that you had with the kids themselves. Would you say that after that you met the movie, it was much difficult to get in contact with the real kids because you were seen as a filmmaker?
Not really, you know. I mean, I kind of did the same thing in this film. The kids in this film are, once again, non-professionals. They'd never acted before, and they're incredible. They are really something, and I think that I'm able to find real kids walking in the street and put them in films, and I think that that they kind of know me through my work. You know, there's a reference point, so they kind of, you know, when I meet them and tell them what I want to do, they know the work I've done, and they trust me and I trust them, and there's an honesty there, and I think something special happens between the young actors and myself. You know.
How did you persuade them to go this far?
Well, I told them what I wanted, and we talked about it, and I made sure they were okay with it, and you know, and made sure that they wanted to do it, and we rehearsed, and they got to know each other, and bonded, and felt very comfortable with each other, and later on, smoked cigarettes and talked, and so when we actually shot. And there were other people in the room, they were comfortable. They were probably more comfortable than anybody else in the room. And because, it's a process. It's not just, you just don't throw people together and turn the camera. I mean, it was well thought out and rehearsed. And not that it wasn't difficult. It's all hard to do. It's all difficult, but you know, that's what I do.
How do you pass the difficulty when it's a sex scene like the scene where the guy is jerking off and this scene like that?
Well, James Ransone, who plays Tate, I met him in New York. He's the only actor out of New York. He had a little experience as an actor. Everybody else had never acted before, but PJ. PJ had, I met PJ, he wanted to do it, wanted to do the role, and I met him a year before we did the film, so he had a year to prepare. And we did it obviously in one take. So he was ready, but it was a difficult, you know, emotionally devastating performance. But an incredible. I mean, you know, you got to want to do it. You know, he's a courageous young actor and a terrific actor. Really amazing.
You have no boundaries. You never say to yourself, "I go too far."
Well, I'm an, yeah. You know, that's funny. I do. I look. I say, man, maybe you've gone too far. I always think I've gone too far, but as an artist, I don't think in those terms. I mean, I come from the art world, so, you make work and you show work, and in the art world, it's fine. But this is different, and when you're making film, you're reaching such a bigger audience, and you're reaching the public, and there's all these rules. But as an artist, I don't think in terms of rules. I never think about what you can't do, what you're not supposed to do. I mean, I just, do it. This is a film that has an emotional honesty, and it has a visual honesty. And if you're making a film that has emotional and visual honesty, and then you come to scenes and you turn the camera away or go to close-up or shut the door, then you're not being honest. And I wanted this film to be totally honest. And if some scenes are startling, that's just the way it is. I'm not trying to. I'm truthfully not doing things to shock. I'm doing things. I'm telling stories that I think need to be told, that aren't told, that you read about in the paper every day, that people that this happens to. Especially today in the information age, everybody knows everything. We know this is going on. So I want to show it. I mean, if I could see these stories somewhere else, I don't think I'd have to make them. But, I feel a need to tell these stories. And sometimes I think, gee, why can't I just, make a nice, light, airheaded comedy? And maybe I will someday. But this is what I want to do now.
Pretty strange way you shoot the sex scene. Sometimes it's like a symbol of all the despair, and sometimes it's a symbol of all the hope. How would you say that you treated sex in the movie?
Well, you seem to be very hung up on sex here. The adults are like using sex in the most inappropriate, abusive way. They're using sex to satisfy their own emotional needs, their own needs. And they're using their kids, which is really wrong, And kids who have been abused and really fucked with this way, usually at the end of the film, they're going to be just like total, basket cases. They're going to be, no hope, no future, totally devastated. I wanted to show that these kids will survive or have a good chance at survival. And the last scene in the movie is about that. It's about they have each other, and they connect to each other, and they're connecting through sex in the best way, in the most innocent, pure way, to each other. And they're talking about their dreams and their hopes, and they're talking about utopian societies. And they're making love to each other in the most beautiful way. And I thought that this is the way the film should end, and I thought that this is the way to have an uplifting ending, to show that maybe these kids will be okay because they have each other after what has happened to them, with their parents. And that was my plan. That was my idea, and I think it works. I mean, but I mean, those are just two scenes through the film. I mean, there's a lot of other scenes in the film, and I think everything. I mean, I think everything blends together. I mean, it's part of the work. They're not just thrown in there just to have a sex scene. Obviously, as you say, it works. I mean, it's part of work.
Do you have a lot of reactions from teenagers and kids saying that, okay, you got it. This is exactly what we feel, or what do kids tell you?
Yeah, I started making films. I made my first film because I wanted to make a film that kids could see and say, this isn't bullshit. Maybe it's not me, but it feels right. This feels right. And they said that, and kids came up to me and said, it's not like a movie, it's like real life, So that's very satisfying for me. And in my other films, I've gotten that kind of reaction. And I think in this film, I'll also get the same reaction. I mean, no one's seen the film yet. It's just been at it was at Venice and now Toronto. So it's really brand new, but yeah, I think I'm the only filmmaker working right now that kids can really maybe trust.
Since kids from there, do you feel that the situation kind of evolved for these kids, for the kids? Is it getting better or worse?
Well, I think I don't know. I don't think the films are going to change the world. I mean, I think that I'm just
not through the film, but from your observation to this generation. Because there's 8 years in between.
It's interesting. I think that there's definitely kind of a scene now because of that film, because of that first film. I know a lot of the kids who were in the film, who acted in the film, now have careers, because of the film, which I'm really happy about. I mean, Chloe Sevigny was there, Dawson and Leo Fitzpatrick and John Abrahams. They all have careers, and I think that in the new film, Ken Park, that there are young actors that are going to have careers. I mean, James Van Soner plays Tate, is amazing. Tiffany Lemos, who is the girl in the film, who plays Peaches, is really a talented young actress. And Stephen Jasso, who was a skater in a skate park, and I saw him skating, and I said, gee, that kid looks like the way I'd like Claude to look. And I went up to him, and he was just skating around. I put him in the movie, and he's terrific. He's such a natural actor. I mean, I think he has a career also if he wants it. And so I'm really, pleased that that maybe I've opened up the world a bit for some of these kids.
Did you have more difficulty shooting the parents and telling them sorry?
Well, the parents are all professional actors, seasoned professional actors, and really great. We have Wade Williams, we have Amanda Plummer, we have Maeve Quinlan, we have Julio Oscar Machosa, really good actors. And I always wanted to mix non-actors with professional actors. And I'd been told by really good directors that you can't do that, but I thought you could. And what happened was that it took the professional actors into places where it was fresh and new for them, where they weren't expecting to go. They told me, they said, if I'm working with another professional actor, I know where they're going to go, and if I don't know where they're going to go, they go somewhere that's familiar to me because of all the training, right? And I've been doing this. But with these kids are so open and honest, they take me places where, all of a sudden I'm in a place I've never been before, and it's so freeing, and liberating. And it was very exciting for them and good for them. And it worked. It worked, really, really well in the film, as you see. I mean, the interaction between the young actors and the adults is amazing.
Merci beaucoup, monsieur.
Thank you very much.